Okay, I have started the recording. Alrighty, so, before we get into it, couple little details. I did go back and rewatch the recordings from the heist. So there's a couple continuity errors I made. It was not a Thieves Guild mark on the carriage. It was actually a Fishing Guild mark on the carriage. And your study of that and reporting that to Glup, and Glup reporting that to the Thieves Guild, resulted in Glup going to the market to hunt down not Barnabas and not Remy, but Gasco. So, anyway, that's how you found out about all of this. Also, it turns out there are 6 carts, not 7. There were 7 carts that were left behind, and 6 that came on the trip to the docks. And this is where we are. The carts have left the warehouse. There's a huge crowd gathered around them. Apparently there was quite the hullabaloo while you guys were getting all your stuff ready. Activities at the courthouse were crazy. The guilds are at each other's throats. Lawyers are being sent everywhere with papers and lawsuits and demands. And you guys are not involved in any of that. So, we've got a couple positions here that I just need to know about. First up, is anybody in a lookout position ahead of your ambush to keep track of the caravan and make sure they are going down the path you expect them to go down?
I'm assuming that's all Araxi, because
Araxi could probably just keep up with the caravan from the rooftops, I imagine. Because there's no way this caravan's moving at full speed at this point.
Well, the caravan is pulled by oxen, so their speed is not impressive.
Yeah, and also there's crowds in the street.
Yes, that are crowding very close. So yeah. The guards on the wagons are sort of looking threatening to the people that are crowding around, and at a word from their commander, they take potions off their belts, drink the potions, and they bulk up instantly. And it suddenly becomes apparent why their armor was so baggy and loose, as their muscles grow and their frames get bigger and they fill in their uniforms and look quite imposing. There are 2 people that do not drink potions because they already look terrifying, and that's 2 women that are at the head of the caravan. One of them with a sword and shield, the other with a sword and an even bigger sword, and they are, they look incredibly frightening. The one with the sword and shield has a demon's tail for a belt. You kids probably don't know much about the Demon Wars, unless you've been studying it in school, but you do at least know it means she probably killed a demon once and took its tail for a belt.
this would be classified as extremely cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you weren't planning to rob her, she'd probably be somebody awesome to talk to.
Like, if Trumpy knows this, I feel like Trumpy has an incredible potential to know exactly what this means.
Yeah, Trumpy's been working with the ATG, right?
Yes, and also I spent Mondo points on getting an erudite potential of 2.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, Trumpy definitely has read in books what this demon tail is and means. And also what you could possibly brew out of it. I don't know if Trumpy's specifically into alchemy, but you definitely know that it's a powerful and useful magical component. Welcome back! Oh, Troy, I know that there was a question before we started about potentials and the costs. So the rule is actually written in the rules for catalysts. in the wiki. But basically, because you don't have to get a potential through your lineage. You can actually just get it as a talent. They're called catalysts, and it's the same cost as a talent. And in the rules on catalyst, it does very explicitly say that you get the first point for free. So if you've spent experience points on it, go ahead and refund those for yourself, and yeah, spend them on whatever.
So if you get a potential, if you want to get a potential outside of lineage, you just buy a talent.
Yep.
For that.
The talents are called catalysts, and yeah, you just buy it and you have it. Generally, we want there to be a narrative component to it, like you have a reason you've gotten it, such as studying at school or something. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I assume you wouldn't just be like, I'm a
wizard now.
Something. Yeah, and all of a sudden I'm a wizard. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. But
I got bored with my job as a butcher, and I've decided I'm a wizard now.
Yeah, I think that definitely throws, like, the character sheets mess with it a little bit, because you always get charged for the level 1.
Yeah,
but it didn't seem like there was a way to get it at 0.
We might rethink this later, because at the time that the rule was written, the cost for your first character point was 1, and now it's 3. So maybe it needs to be looked at, but I think it's fine for this adventure. Just go ahead and take it as written. Anyway.
So, for example, if I have, like is the only character that I think this affects.
It affects anybody who has a...
Oh, it affects
potential.
Bax too. So, Leica has Psychic Prodigy, and Bax has Prodigy of Heroics.
Would it not also affect Trompy's erudite potential?
Yes, it would also affect that, yeah.
So basically, if you have a potential and you have not been doing it like this, you can refund yourself points. That's how I understood it.
Right.
How many points does each of these characters get refunded?
The first point of potential is costs 3 points, and it should be free as long as you got it from a catalyst, and that's the only way to get it, is from a catalyst. So whether your catalyst comes from a talent you bought, or whether it comes from one of your lineages, you still should be refunding 3 points, because the character sheet is not calculating that based on this rule.
In this case, where Leica has the Tangle and also Psychic Prodigy, is the Tangle considered part of this?
Yep.
So they get a total of 6 points refunded.
Correct.
So I would just add 6 points to my EXP.
Yep. All right, so is Araxi the only one on lookout?
As long as it's reasonable for me to just track the caravan back to the group for the ambush, because I think Araxi is crucial to the ambush as well.
The difference is that Araxi won't be able to do any preparation as they approach. Araxi will just be tracking them, but if no one's tracking them, then you guys will have no information about them.
All right, that makes sense, because Araxi might be the one who could keep up on the roofs.
Okay, so go ahead and make your stealth check to see if they notice you.
All right. So you know that talent we were talking about? I think I want to use a character point for that.
All right.
So what is that? Did we agree on I could use my acrobatics for?
Yeah, you can add your acrobatics as dice to another roll that you can argue makes sense for it. Adding your acrobatics as dice is better than just simply using your acrobatics instead of it, because then if you did have some skill in something, you could roll even more dice, but yeah. This is, I think, the better, more powerful, and more appropriate version.
All right. And this would just be to anything that I could reasonably argue acrobatics rather can do.
Yep. So I'd love to hear your narration as to how you're going to use acrobatics to find a place to hide.
So basically, Raxi's just going to start at the top there, and already from the rooftops. And, like, it's a Libre, they kind of know that people could just travel the rooftops. But Araxi's first off a very tiny frog, so they aren't going to spot Araxi immediately regardless. But secondly, they don't expect Araxi to be able to just leap up into chimneys and just pop down into them whenever they look in Araxi's direction. That's not a spot they're looking for.
I like that. That's good. Because you're right, I did mention earlier that, like, people spend so much time, like, the Thieves Guild spends so much time on the rooftops in this city that a lot of the houses have, like, safety railings and little park benches on their roofs.
But hopping chimney to chimney, not something that's expected.
That's a little further than the Thieves Guild's willing to go, yeah.
Alright. This would be acrobatics. Agility? Or vigor?
Oh, definitely agility.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
I don't think any of my traits allow me to use my athletic potential on top of that. Oh!
You are noticed. So as you're getting close to the ambush point, one of the women points over the rooftops and says something to the other women. She nods. Now, they can see that there's an opening coming up where there's a big crowd, and they know they don't want to go through that, so they're going to pop down an alley. But having noticed you guys up above, they are going to go through as fast as they can. So they're smacking the oxen to try and get them to pull the carts through the alley as quick as possible. This means that you guys are going to be under some time pressure while you're down there. They're going to be making animal handling checks. They do have to get the oxen through about 20 successes worth of alley to get out the other side past your darkness trap. But they're going to keep making their animal checks as hard as they can to push through. So you guys will have a limited number of rounds to attempt to pull off your heist. It begins with the throwing of the darkness globes.
If anybody has throwing, I guess they could do this.
I'm of no help. I can throw it, but I won't throw it well.
The better you can throw it, the more of the alley you can cover with darkness, and possibly buy yourself a little bit more time. You'll be your successes will be adding to what they have to push the carts through.
If nobody has throwing, I would hazard a guess that Araxi has the best raw skill in terms of aptitude.
I'm guessing because you also have 4 in agility.
Oh, I have 3 in agility. So if you have 4 in agility, go for
Or
it.
might just be 3. Let me check. I always keep on forgetting sometimes. Oh no, I have 3 in agility. For some reason, I don't know why I said 4.
I've tried to get 4, and it's like that's a lot of experience.
Agility plus throwing. Only one person gets to make the roll, so you're going to take whatever result that is.
All right.
I was gonna try to argue engineering for this, but it's not gonna. I can't think of anything.
Would it be possible for Francis to give like a leadership pep talk, kind of like, you know, the coach at a baseball game? I'm not a pitcher, but I know how to instruct pitchers.
You give us the mechanics of throwing.
So there is a a skill for leadership where you can let someone else use your stats when making a roll, but yeah, it's hard to teach somebody a skill you don't know yourself.
Can I argue to use crime instead of throwing for this?
You could, but you'll have to be not on the roof if you're going to sneak down there and use crime to like slip the orb into the right position.
Walpy is going to do that because Walpy is a halfling.
Okay. Additionally, there is something Francis could do that is very similar if Francis has the spell memorized.
What spell?
I mean, if you don't know what you want to do, then that's fine. I saw on your character sheet you totally have the ability to do something. It's okay, no worries.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have any spells memorized, so any spells I cast would require.
You do have a minor animate in your books, though.
What does that mean?
Or did you not get the... Is Francis not a necromancer?
Sorry, I didn't understand the word you said. I thought you said I had a minor anime, and I think
Animate.
now you... Yeah, okay, thank you. You mean I have the animate talent?
No, I mean you have a spell that lets you animate small corpses like rats and birds.
Oh, yeah. Got it. I do have that. If we think there's some way that I can...
Oh yeah, absolutely. You strap on one of those balls onto a little rat. You just strap that fucker on there, send him on his way. They'll never see it coming.
I don't know for certain that the rat will be more precise than Wampy going down there and using a crime skill, but it is a thing that you have access to.
Yeah.
Wampy's would be
Also-
throwing a lot of dice on the crime skill.
Yeah. Gleb can also turn invisible, per se.
Minor
might have-
animate.
If Glup is here, Glup will outdo Wampy probably, but
I got a question about minor animate. So how many can Francis do at a time with okay.
One.
Yeah,
so we can't do the swarm of rats backup
Nope.
plan.
Nope.
Oh, so you can't do two. You can't do two birds with like a little twig between their under wings to carry it.
Just a quick question. What are we trying to accomplish here?
Get the orb to go off and maximize amount of time they have to spend in it.
And we need it to go off in a certain area that's not where we are. That's
All
why
right,
you're trying to tell.
let's set the scene. You're on a rooftop. Below you is an alleyway, and the clop of oxen hooves pulling carts is coming. There are 6 carts in total. They need to get through this alleyway. You have little glass beads that, when smashed, will emit a darkness powder that magically makes it impossible to see. So if you can fill the alley with this, then they will have a long stretch where they can't see for you guys to try and sneak in and steal as many boxes of gold as you can. They have a bunch of guards that have just drunk potions to beef themselves up, 2 very scary women, and they're going to try and get the oxen through as quick as possible. But if you make the area of darkness bigger, you get more time, potentially, to do your sneakiness and try and steal some of these boxes of gold. Hopefully without getting hurt.
Got it. And are we trying to accomplish the theft while they're still in this alley? So basically, drop the darkness and then immediately start our plan to start stealing the chest.
Yes.
This is the best place along the route that you could find. Yeah.
This is we drop the balls and then whoever's going down there to hook up our pulley system is going at that moment. That's
And-
There are stickers.
And you will have until the 2 scary women can use animal handling checks on the, or taming checks on the oxen to drive them past 20 points of alleyway plus whatever you guys are able to create by rolling well on your placement of these darkness globes.
Quick thought. Do we have the ability to kill the oxen?
I technically have a way.
To kill the oxen?
Sort of.
There are risks involved with escalation, however, and those are very scary ladies.
Yes. We don't want to piss them off, because another thing I was going to bring up is Glup has a couple character points, and he is one use of Infamous Away, and since they're known for being able to toss barrels and stuff down before and to create a blockade. I was thinking of getting the little gang in there to put a blockade in the.
Sadly, no one went and talked to the gang. So this is your plan.
I think that Whoppy dropping it from below is probably the best option, because Whoppy's got a good bit of crime. I've got Lessons of the Small.
How many oxen are there?
6 carts, 2 oxen per cart. So a total of 12.
I probably could even add one of my potentials onto this roll, because I'm doing this with the other halflings.
Each oxen, at the point where their harness connects to the cart, has a chest, and then there's 2 additional chests at the back of each cart, which are at the front of the next set of oxen.
Did we want to do a triplet? Our powers combined, we stick together.
That's what I'm thinking, because I think it would allow me to add a potential onto this roll as well. If I have triplet support.
I have some very good skills.
Wompy Trompy and the Undead Rat.
So my thought was actually we pretend to be human children playing in the alley. And then leave this as almost a bomb to go off.
Well, they're heading down the alley now, so you have very little time to plan. You're either acting or not.
Are we all on the roof?
Yes.
Whoppy would not be if we did this, at least. I could just go for Whoppy as well.
Trumpy has big brain abilities, so if you need those, I got you.
Alright. How about... Why don't we have... Can Trumpy, make a roll to tell me the exact spot that would, mathematically be the best to let this go off at to cover the most amount of area? Just based off the shape of the alley?
You guys kind of spent all your prep time getting the crazy magical item up and running.
True.
Instead of doing math on the alley itself. And you're down to the wire now.
Alright.
Is it...
Whoppy's just going to, I guess, go for this.
Is there any assistance in this if I can do... You've now said that there's railing and stuff on the rooftops.
And park benches. And nice little potted plants and stuff. People really take care of the roofs.
Yeah, can I, dismantle these, essentially, and drop the, so they're droppable down the alley and basically block the other side of the alley? So then it doesn't actually matter where the darkness powder lands, because they'll be stuck in the alley at a certain point, as long as we do it halfway down, essentially.
You can make a roll, and we'll see what the dice say. Compared to an oxen, a park bench isn't much of an obstacle. You'd probably need to get several.
Yeah. And when the orb it shatters, does it sort of explode outwards?
Yeah, it's like a mist that comes out of it and fills up a sphere, roughly, and then that sphere just turns black. It's perfectly opaque. It doesn't feel like anything. You can walk through it like it's air, but it is perfectly opaque, and vision does not work in it. When you're in it, you
okay.
can't see it all, and when you're out of it, you can't see into it.
Yeah. So that means that we will be working blind down there.
Correct.
If I have a potential in demolition, and I'm basically tearing shit apart to throw off a roof, does that count?
Yeah.
So how do we apply, or does that even apply in any way?
Well, I mean, on your turn, you'll make a roll, and we'll see how many of those you turn into slowing down points to add to the progress the cart needs to get in order to get past the alley.
So my plan currently is to just have Whompy run out there with the orb, smash it with Whompy's hammer, and basically hide. That's my plan.
Cool.
Or not entirely hide, but like hide within the mist to start helping Shuttle.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be at ground zero, so you'll be instantly not visible, and anyone who saw you would have to rely on their memory of where you are.
So I just have to shift location, basically.
And then just not get trampled by oxen, yeah.
Yeah. Whompy's small.
Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead and
I
make the
also
roll.
would get the pips from Lessons of the Small in this, I imagine.
Yes.
I'll get anything else, right? I'm not at a disadvantage, so yeah. Those are pips for my hammer and the Lessons of the Small. Because I'm using my hammer as a weapon.
Alright, you've added 4 points to what they have to overcome. And this has started the action. So the first globe goes off. Trompy, do you have another globe?
Not to my knowledge. I'll be handling the police situation. I don't
Okay.
recall, I'm sorry. But if
Francis, do you have a rat that's got a globe?
I could have a rat. I don't know about the globe part.
I
I
thought we
definitely
only
didn't
got
have
one
any
globe.
globe.
I thought we only got one globe.
Oh, maybe you did. Okay. Alright then, 24. So you've got a sphere that the carts have to go through. 6 carts have to get through it. They've got to spend, or push their way through 24 points of progress here. Let's see.
Who's got the bandolier?
I imagine if we could simultaneous, like as Whompy comes into the thing, I would like Araxi to be jumping off the roof at that same time as soon as Whompy's visible. So
Araxi was following them, so Araxi's going to be last in the initiative order, but Araxi is there. Yeah.
If somebody's jumping off the roof, you probably want to do it before the orb goes off, is what I'm saying.
Actually, who are the couple of people that are going to be jumping off? Because I know I want to, because I'm going to have my character Elros grab Glup's hand, and plus someone else that wants to go down. Who else is going to be jumping down there that is able to jump? And because I want to cast, I want to be able to improvise a dark vision spell on myself. And since I'm holding 2 other people's hands, they would be considered me as well.
When we get to your turn, then you can try and cast a spell.
Okay.
So, alright, so Whompy's done the darkness. Let's see. Let's see how fast everyone else can react to the globe going off. So if everyone could please make an agility plus perception roll. We'll see what order everybody goes in.
Perception, where's that? Why am I missing it?
The aptitudes.
Yep, both are aptitudes. We're combining those 2 aptitudes to represent your reaction time.
I assume that Whompy does not need to make this roll.
Correct. Whompy is first in the initiative order because Whompy started the whole party.
Sorry, which aptitudes? Apologies.
And Araxi is last in the order. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I didn't need to make a roll.
Right.
Sorry, which aptitudes?
Agility and perception.
Are we at a disadvantage at all in this?
Nope.
So
No,
it's
you're
just
actually in a pretty good situation right now. Alright, so it looks like Glup goes next. Wait, Tice, you rolled twice. Do you have two characters?
Yeah, Elros and Glup, because they were both like.
Oh, okay.
Elros is the magic, and Glup is the more tactical. Like,
This is kind of all Glup's idea in the first place, right?
Yeah, pretty much. At the very least, the Glup has the Thieves Guild connections that are allowing you guys to do this legally. As a tax collection exercise.
Can he? Yeah, he wants. I guess he's going to hold this action to be able to see in the dark with the help of Elros. Potentially.
And Troy, is this Chrysosar that you have out?
No, Mina's here.
Oh, that's right. Okay, Chrysosar was from the last session. Mina is this session. Gotcha. Okay. So Wampy's triggered it. Glup is next in the initiative order. Glup, what do you want to do?
He's going to hold on for a second to be able to get dark vision potentially from Elros.
Okay. Which means next up is Francis and Elros. Both have the same initiative. What do you two want to do? The spellcasters of the group.
And this is after the darkness has fallen.
The darkness has just happened.
And can I get a check on who has the magical rope?
I'm assuming that Trumpy is part of the pulley operation team.
Somebody should probably go down with the rope on their hands, so we don't lose the rope in the darkness.
And somebody should probably have the stickers that will make the chests smaller.
Got it. Francis grabs the rope and starts to rappel down the side of the building.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
I assume the pulley's affixed up top or something.
Who built the pulley?
That would be Trumpy.
Then Trumpy's got the pulley.
I mean, having it up above is actually not a terrible idea. Once we get the stickers on, latch all the chests to the rope. As soon as these carts move, their chests are going up with that rope. So we start pulling it now, or we start pulling it later, or they move. They're going up with us. That's my assumption.
So those of you who are up above, you can see that the top of the cart is kind of like floating up above the darkness. That's the first cart. And the second cart's coming in behind pretty quick. So, Francis, you're going down. You've got the rope in your hand?
Yeah, and I'm trying to jump down on top of one of the carts, if I can.
Okay. So that's going to be a acrobatics plus agility check. Target number is 2 to land on the cart. Although if you get at least one success, you at least bump into the cart on your way down.
Okay. All right. Would my Madala costume help at all?
Was Madala notoriously agile?
I don't really know.
I think they had high vigor. Like the leaping forward is not a problem for Madala, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I'm actually just checking to see. Yeah, Madala was like pretty adept at like acrobatics and athletics.
I remember Madala being absurdly strong, so that's definitely a plus. Sure, go ahead.
I mean, repelling is mostly strength, honestly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's holding on to something against gravity.
Luck.
I'll take what I can.
fuck yeah, let's go.
Alrighty. Clump, you landed on the roof of the cart. While the cart is going to attempt to move through as quick as it can, you know that the front of the cart and the back of the cart both have two chests each, and as the next cart enters the darkness, it'll have two more on the front and the back of it. How many stickers do you guys have total?
7.
And who has them?
Elros has them currently, but you can hand them out to the 2 people that were rappelling down. So you have to Glup and then have to, I guess, yeah.
Who's heading down? Glop, Araxi, apparently Francis as well.
Yeah, Francis is down there with the rope, or is actually on the roof of the cart with the rope. Is that where Francis wants to be? I guess that's basically what you've done, so that's where you're at.
Yeah, that's where he's at. Hopefully, it's not a bad choice, but that's where you decided to.
And having the rope is an important part of this whole exercise. So next up then would be Elros.
Yes, Elros is going to grab Glup's hand as well as I guess one of the other people that's there, and he's going to cast Dark Vision. He's going to improvise Dark Vision, target himself to give himself Dark Vision. Look up. It's a level 2 spell, and so
it would be cool if Araxi was the other one for that.
Sure, Araxi, and I'm going to be one of his traits or shadows are family. So I'm going to say that he's familiar with darkness and dark sight and stuff, so that I can get advantage on this roll.
Yeah, very much so.
Which then I can add. What skill? Scholarship. Scholarship and cunning.
Great picks. Now I want to make sure, is this a spell to be able to see in low light environments, or is this a spell to see in magical darkness?
This is to see in magical darkness.
Okay.
I don't think I can get any pips anything. Matthias is is all about crime, so but yeah. If that's okay.
Matthias is about not being seen, not so much about seeing.
Okay, so get me roll for this.
Matthias would love this heist, though.
I succeed.
You get it. You got your 2. Good job. Tax your potential that you used by 1, and I'm sorry, by 2. Right? This is a second circle that you're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so the 3 of you now have a sort of limited, low-range ability to see in this darkened environment.
Yeah, which will mean Glup will jump down immediately afterwards.
So you guys enter the darkness, and immediately the things that are in the darkness with you kind of show up in your vision as this sort of ghostly, almost like that kind of rainbow oily kind of outline around them, as the magical dark vision reports on their magical whereabouts despite the fog around you. it's strange because you're essentially sensing them with magical sight, but at the same time you're still seeing black. Kristen, this is very, very similar to that elf that you played that had the magic eyes. They basically created a temporary version of that for themselves. And that was on Elros, Glup, and Araxi?
Yes.
I believe so.
Alright, and I presume that puts Elros and Glup down into the darkness?
Yes. Well, they would have to get down there still first, but yeah.
Yes. So are they... I guess Elros... That was Elros's action. Is Glup now going to jump down?
Yes.
Is Glup aiming for anywhere in particular, or do you just want to enter the darkness?
I want to enter, sort of like aim for like the side of one of the carts, because I'm gonna because you can see exactly the top of the cart, so I'm gonna land on the side of it because my hands are all grippy and stuff.
Yep. So are you landing on the side, or are you going to land on like the front or the back where the treasure is?
I'm going to land on the side because there was guards on the other sides of them, right?
Yes, there's guards and the fronts, backs, and walking along the sides, all of whom are in darkness now.
Yeah, so I'm going to land on the side so I can observe before I start.
Very good. Backs, you're up. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not Backs. Trompy, you're up. Sorry.
No worries.
You've been playing Backs and yeah. All right.
I think we did it. I think because this is like a part 2, we haven't slept overnight. We're continuing.
Right. We're just continuing straight off from the last session. Yeah.
I didn't feel right switching characters in that regard. So
right.
I stuck with Trompy.
Trompy, you're up.
Right.
I'm with your device.
I'm with the pulley, I guess.
Yep. And Francis has taken the other end of the rope onto the carriage below.
Excellent. I'm just waiting for the signal, whatever that is, to I'm going to ready an action to activate the pulley as soon as I get the go signal to snap up the chests.
Okay. Action readied. Mina, you're up.
Okay, so I can help with the pulley probably after, since I'm up here. But in the meantime,
park benches over the side?
Yeah, essentially, calculate it out and figure out what I have up here and what I can drop in such a way strategically to cause the most disruption.
You probably figure that the best place would be right as they're coming out of the darkness, because that's the spot where tripping on something means that everything behind you doesn't know you've tripped on something. It would cause the most chaos.
Man, this character should have got their costume made and never did.
Oh, poor Mina.
It's the first time that she's done something to use it too.
Who's Mina's hero?
Azufu.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. It's just funny. It's a good one. Okay, 4 successes toward getting it in the right area.
So you've made another 4 points of anti-progress against what they have to get. So they now need to get 28 points of progress. to push through. Okay, Araxi.
Yeah. So, Araxi's going to hop down. That much I know. I'm just trying to decide where I want Araxi to land.
You saw Glup go just like moments before
Yeah.
you arrived and fall into the darkness, but stick to the side of the thing. And you got your enhancement from Elros, so you'll be able to see in the dark when you get down there.
That's why I'm thinking I might just want Araxi to land by the caravans themselves, but not like on top of them. Araxi is also very interested in popping the caravan doors open. Is the thing.
Okay.
So like, would the doors be possible, like from down there?
The doors exist. Yeah.
Like I know where they are. Like these caravan doors. Like I just ripped them open. Okay.
Because you can see the top of the caravan over the darkness sphere, and when you get down there, you have the spell on you, so you'll be able to see, not plain as day, but pretty plain.
Right. And I guess this is a question for Elros. Does Araxi have some of those little like shrinking things?
Sure, because you're the other Anu, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave 4 to Glup and 3 to Araxi.
Okay. Yeah. Araxi's just going to jump down, kind of akin to the way Glup, where kind of Glup tried to cling onto the side, except Araxi's going to try like get onto the front and maybe get access. Would we know which one might have like magical items in them?
You don't know.
We didn't get that information. Like cart number 4 has this.
You didn't.
All right.
Yeah, you've heard that they found all kinds of wondrous treasures, but you don't know which cart has which one.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually just going to go for the frontmost cart and
Okay.
basically, also I want to like almost rip open the door as I land onto the thing. Like use my weight to swing it, if that's possible.
So you're going for the doors, or are you going for the decoy treasure that you heard about them loading up at the front and rear of the cart?
The doors. I'm not actually going for the chests right now.
So you're going down basically where Glup went. So I need obviously this is sort of a formality with Anu, but I need both of you to make your jump checks.
All right.
Agility plus acrobatics.
Yeah, I'm actually.
I think you might have enough pips that you can't fail. I'm not sure.
I actually want to argue that my new trait, actually both my traits for being a renowned athlete, I think could apply for this one. And add my potential onto this.
Okay.
Mostly just to massively overperform.
Bury the needle there, I figured. Glup, go ahead and do yours.
Yeah, just quickly checking to see what.
I don't expect that it's gonna fail. I just figure it's, yeah.
Yeah, you would think so.
Really? That's Glup's agility and acrobatics?
He doesn't actually have any points in acrobatics right now.
Wow, I didn't realize. Cool. Well,
Yeah,
you still made it.
about
All right.
himself. He's just not very acrobatic.
If you combine Araxi and Glop into one frog, you'd have the greatest thief that's ever existed.
All right. Well, yeah, both of you are down there, and now it's their go. Okay. Jackie, I have a question for you about your character from that adventure. What is their taming plus empathy?
Let's find out.
Let's see which one of us can find out first. These character sheets are all over the place in here.
Empathy is 2. Taming of 0.
Okay. They're gonna have some trouble getting these
Oh, yes.
Secretly, you knew that in the future you were going to be robbing yourself.
Oh, most certainly.
I have to say that I never once imagined Rorak having to herd oxen.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Delia's empathy is 2 as well. So they roll 4 dice for each check. You guys may have a while, actually, to get...
yeah, we're going to pull it off, I think. I think we're going to do good.
I had no idea what Delia's was, but I knew for a fact that Roraks could not be high.
Nope. I'm surprised Rourke has an empathy of 2. Like, genuinely. Like,
I think that was just the minimum that we got at the start.
They've made very little progress through this situation. The oxen are not cooperating. Yeah.
I imagine the kids are hearing words they've never heard before in their life.
They are. And you're also hearing some sounds from the sewers, as your darkness thing was the trigger for some of the mercenaries that were hired, or not hired, that were encouraged to participate, emerge. Those of you with the dark vision down there see these guys come up out of a sewer. They have similar sort of like eye glow going on, and they're climbing up, and right now they're doing non-lethal punches to the guards, but in the melee, the guards do swing at both Glup and Araxi. They are swinging blind, so they are heavily penalized here.
We are fragile frogs. Do not hit us.
If you cut a frog in half, it just becomes 2 frogs, right? That's one of the things.
Just like goblins.
Thought that was trolls.
Yeah, it's trolls. You cut a goblin in half, and then you take those 2 pieces of goblin, you throw them in a pot, and you make 50 goblins.
Alright, so Glup, that is 1 tax against you, coming from just a randomly flailing blind warrior.
Yeah, I'll avoid that.
Gosh, even with the threshold, you weren't going to get hit that hard.
And 1 against Araxi. You get an idea, though, that if they weren't blind and their threshold was normal, you might be in a lot of trouble.
I'm just going to take that to health, I think. Araxi will say, "Really? I'm on your side." Having just to screw with them.
You actually hear an apology. Oh, sorry. Wait a second. You're not Bob. Okay, and we are back to Wampy again. Wampy, you're in the dark.
Yeah, Wampy's in the dark. Wampy's kind of done Wampy's job for this. And so what I'm actually thinking about having Wampy do is just taunt. Now, he doesn't know their names, Vidalia and Rourke, and just taunt them, call their belt fake, say, wow, you're getting beat up by a bunch of children, how pathetic, and just run around in the darkness saying that to try and delay their animal handling even more.
Alrighty, you're going to need to make a check to not get trampled.
Yeah. As
there are oxen that are actively being encouraged to run as quick as they can through this. You're going to need now, you're at a threshold penalty of 2 for anything that you do here in the dark until you get your eyes back.
Right.
So this is probably agility plus acrobatics, probably.
Can I argue in athletics if I'm going to pretty much a straight line?
If you're going a straight line, just, yeah.
All right.
Are you just trying to get out of the darkness? Is that the plan?
Mostly, yeah. Wampy just wants to disappear because when the darkness reveals, the last thing Wampy wants to be is the one person that they know for sure. Because they absolutely saw Wampy just run out and smash something in the hammer to start this.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I want Wampy to be taunting them to try and garner their attention.
Okay. Taunts don't have a penalty. That's just, yeah.
All right. Hang on. Does this apply? Lessons of Small would apply, I know. But my question is, can I argue, because I actually apparently was supposed to have solipsism this whole time, can I argue that I could add that because I have... Again, Wampy is also missing a trait, so I add the trait Unabashed, and that the taunting is basically Wampy having no shame in this and just embracing this. And then add solipsism to this, because I feel like solipsism kind of applies here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Just get like some semblance of bearing and like a tactile feel of the world.
So the not getting trampled difficulty you're trying to overcome is 3.
Alright. So, does it go pips then threshold, or threshold then pips? Because I know it's threshold.
I'm not certain that it matters as long as you put a P before one and a T before the other.
Okay. I just don't want to break
If it does matter, then Uther will tell us.
Alright. It gives us multiplies. I could not come up with that reason to have Wampy's hammer apply pips for...
No one can see its majesty.
Oh, wow, that did help at all.
So Wampy's going to take 3 attacks from crashing into rolling wheels and such as you're underneath the carriage.
Of all the halflings to take the tax, it's probably best to be Wampy.
Next up is Francis on top of the cart. You've got the rope.
All right. So, who has the stickies or whatever we're calling them? The things that will shrink the chest. Elros?
Glup. Well, Elros had them, but gave them to Glup and Araxi.
Got it.
Glup and Araxi have jumped down into the darkness where you cannot see.
I will also not be able to see if I jump down there, so I'm kind of thinking of staying where I'm at.
Let us shuttle the chest to you.
Yeah. An alternative thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I could animate a small creature that can see in the dark. I guess a bat?
Good
Echolocation.
news. There is no shortage of rat corpses in a city.
Well, bat would be better because rats can't see in total darkness, but bats can echolocate,
True.
which would be zero problem with this type of magic.
While less common in urban environments, bats do exist sometimes.
Or how about an owl?
So owls don't have echolocate. Their vision will probably be equivalent to an undead rat, but they have flight, which is nice.
I believe they might be able to see in the dark. Not with echolocation.
No, they can see in low light.
Yeah, there's a difference between low light and magical darkness, and this is magical darkness.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. In that case, then the bat's probably better because it's relying on that echolocation. If I can find one, I will attempt to find a dead bat and bring it back to life.
This is a resource check.
Okay. Just a sec. This is going to be a rough one.
It is going to be a rough one, especially since you're in the middle of a situation. You can't just like go to the market and try and find somebody that's got a bat corpse. Like, you need there to be a bat corpse within your visual range right now.
My resource is small enough where it's equal to the difficulty that this should be.
Your resource is actually less than the difficulty this should be. So, but yeah, there's no bat corpses that you can see.
It's not one stuck to one of like the mercenary shoes.
No, nobody accidentally trod upon a bat on their way here.
So I think here's what we can consider doing. Right, you've got the rope. I'm assuming you're in range of the chests. You can start linking them together. These patches can come on as an additional measure, but as soon as they're linked up to the rope, they're effectively the weight of the rope. The patches are a secondary measure, a contingency plan for if we, for some reason, the rope plan goes to shit.
Got it, yeah.
That is true. Now, all of the chests are currently in the darkness that you're up above, so you'd have to dip into the dark if you wanted to get a chest. Or you can wait for them to bring chests to you. You can still animate a rat. You're not going to have any trouble finding a rat to animate if you want. The rat's just not going to have echolocation. Yeah.
I think what I might do is drop down to the chests below me. Basically, like, I'm assuming that the chests are hanging off the back, and I remember kind of where they were located. And I'll just, like, lower my body down onto the chests, and then feel around and kind of, you know, hook the rope onto it, and then hop back up to the top. At least that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
So, groping for them in the dark is, under any other normal circumstance, this is a crime plus agility. But if you have something else you'd like to argue, you can go ahead. Because you have no vision, there is a threshold penalty, but the chests are pretty big, so it's only a threshold penalty of 1 instead of 2 for more precise actions. Actually, I take that back. Threshold penalty is 2, but you only need 1 success to find the chest. That's how we're going to do that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's anything interesting I can do. I think I'm pretty much just going to have to rely on my agility. I don't know, maybe I have some survival skill. So theoretically, you know, maybe that includes, you know, being able to be effective in the dark.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
All right, cool.
You've honed your other senses to survive in the wilds.
Yeah. Maybe my Madonna costume comes into play here. Maybe he's really good at smelling around and
I can smell the treasure. That's a
yeah.
Scrooge McDuck level move right there.
In this city that definitely has a ton of other smells, I can smell a chest of gold.
Yeah, that's
It's
probably
not like
not
we're in a
Madonna's
port
specialty.
city or anything.
I mean, what you could reasonably smell is the oil on the hinges of the chests.
Yeah, I think it's probably too much of a stretch.
A little
I'll just
intense.
go with-
I think no matter how much you've honed your scent, if you took a deep breath right now, all you would smell is shit and like sea.
and oxen.
Just like San Francisco.
Or Baltimore.
Now, if Madala was actually here, Madala would be having some kind of vision quest where the chests are represented as pots of honey, and they're surrounded by angry wolves and bears, and yeah.
Sadly, Francis failed. I don't know how bad that failure was, but
So you drop down to where you thought a chest was, and you go past where you thought it was because there's no floor, and suddenly you were on the cobblestone, still gripping the rope, I presume.
yep.
All right, you're in the darkness on the cobblestones. Next up is Elros. Elros, you have the dark vision, so you have a bit of an idea of where everybody is down in the dark. But you are currently on the rooftop.
All right. Guess I'll do my best to hop down to go help buddy that's currently dangling off a rope. See if I can get them up, help them to tie up the rope, since I can see exactly where the chest will be. So I'll have to try to jump down there to go to where the rope is to help pull them up.
Okay, so you're going to try and aim for where Francis is that correct?
Yeah, on the cart where Francis is, so I can go.
Francis is not on the cart. Francis has fallen off the cart and is on the street, behind the cart. So yeah, it's you need 2 successes to jump down safely and accurately. Otherwise, you may end up somewhere you do not intend.
Could probably use the rope to get to Francis.
Totally could.
Yeah, acrobatics, agility with the rope.
Yeah, acrobatics plus agility, and use the ropes. You can use the rope for pips. You guys used a legendary artifact when creating that rope. So that's... I think that's enough pips that you don't have the possibility of failure if you have at least 2 dice to roll.
Yeah, because it's like 8 dice or so, 8 P10 or something.
Yeah, so something like that. I think it's 8, but the 8 is a guaranteed success. Like you roll the 1. I guess if you roll 1s, yeah.
Yeah. Can I use that? I didn't mean acrobatics. I meant athletics.
You can use athletics if you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. You are down there with Francis.
How would the physics work with that rope? Like, if you jumped and grabbed that rope, anything touching the rope is the same weight as the rope.
Yeah. So this is what's crazy. How this looks, right? You grab the ropes, you're suddenly weightless, and you pull yourself like you're in 0G along the length of the rope, and then as soon as you let go, gravity reasserts itself, and you drop down.
So I was wondering if I could have landed on one of the carts with the rope in my hand, so I could pull them back up, since they weigh only the rope.
You could have just yanked Francis back up to the rooftop if you wanted to.
But I want to get down there as well, because I have the dark vision.
You always got to be careful, because if you grab the rope to yank it, you're weightless, and your yank does nothing. It pulls you and not the person. But if you don't grab the rope and instead pull the crank, then they get pulled up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay, fantasy physics. All right, Glup, you're up. You are clinging to the side of the cart. The door is there. To your left is the front of the cart where there should be some treasure. Actually, you've got the dark vision. You can see there is one of the decoy chests that your intelligence said they did load up with some real gold. Is at the front of the cart, and then there's the doorway leading into the cart.
If I interrupt here, part of my role was supposed to be to use Araxi's weight to swing that door open. That's what I was trying to do with my landing.
All right, well, we're going kind of second by second here. So,
right. Well, I'm just I'm there, so like I've already done that role is the thing.
Okay. What was your result on that?
8.
Jeez. All right, so Glup, you're next to an open door. And through the open door with your magical eyesight, you can see that there are additional treasure chests inside the cart. On some very fancy-looking shelves.
Okay. I guess I'll slip in there then to see how much these ones weigh.
So these are very heavy.
I guess I'll just randomly. I don't know, because we technically are not allowed to have these ones because these are not part of our thing. So
well, you're allowed to take 7 chests. They just gave you a number. They didn't really specify where from.
You can probably pop the lids up if they're not locked.
Are they locked?
Holy crap, they're not. Okay, that's an oversight. Well, all right, yeah. They're not locked.
Okay, I guess I'll just quickly pop open one of the chests.
Okay, you open it. Now, you're seeing with a weird magical dark vision, so you're not really sure of the color of what you're looking at, but the shape is absolutely gold and gems. It looks like the sort of stereotypical picture that you would see an artist paint of a pirate's treasure, like a chest that opens and there's just stuff inside that's all shiny and glittery. Coins and rings and trinkets but yeah, mostly coins.
Coins and bling.
Coins and lots of bling floating in the coins, yeah.
I guess I'll start slapping on 4 stickers onto 4 of the chests at random.
Okay.
I'll motion to Araxi to get the rope.
So you shrink down and thus reduce the weight as well of 4 of the chests. And that's your action. Trumpy, you're up.
Have I gotten a signal yet to pull any chests?
No.
Is there any way... I'm going to observe the area and see if there's any way I can render aid to my companions.
Currently, you do not see any of your friends. You see darkness, and the... you hear noises. You see the occasional flash of a weapon rising above the darkness before crashing down again. And you see that the rope goes to somewhere behind the cart.
I'm going to hold my action.
Action held. Your held action, too, by the way, means that you can jump in at any time if you see something that needs doing.
Yep.
All right. Mina, you're up.
I feel like I'm probably going to need to do the same thing. I was going to say, I don't know if it'll help, but we can always yank on the rope a little bit to send them into the air. That could be a discussion between Trumpy and I.
That's not something I would want to do to them unexpectedly.
We could see where they are, so we know they're behind the cart, right? So if we pulled on them, they would be up.
But their job right now is to hitch this rope to some chests. So if they're right there, and we pull them before they're ready.
Well, we know where the carts are, right? We could tell if they were at the chests or not at the chests. So we know they're behind the carts.
They're behind the cart, which means they're where two of the decoy chests are.
They're just, we basically can tell that there's some distance from these chests, but we can see the cart, so we know that the chests are there. We could see rope, but it's not connecting to the chests, so we know it's not connected to the chests. Because if they loop the rope through the chests, the rope would be following the cart. Right? The rope would be moving.
Yeah, the rope doesn't look like it's necessarily like affixed to the cart. It looks like it's just a little bit behind the cart.
Yeah, and Elros probably looked like, oh crap, as he jumped down onto the cart.
There's mostly just like, there's a note that we, I guess just a future note, that we always know we always know the state of the rope because the carts are always going to be moving. And if the rope is not moving, it's not attached to any. And if the rope is moving, we at least know it's attached to one of them. Like, that's all the information we have, right? We don't have anything additional.
And that's a good observation, that the rope's movements currently do not match the speed and gait of the cart's movements.
But I agree, we don't want to scare the shit out of someone by making them fly into the air. Necessarily.
Yeah.
Part of me does. But I'm a monster.
It'd be a nice outtake, you know?
I'm just imagining you flinging Francis just into the air across the city.
Gravity would reassert itself as soon as Francis lets go of the rope. And then something really bad would happen and there'd be damage.
Yeah. But I'm just imagining like the velocity of flinging a weightless rope.
There's quite a bit of nonsense you can do with this setup.
Yeah, if we had a detach thing, we could have attached it to the guards and just thrown them.
One of my favorites once is I gave the party basically a portable portal. There were these rings that had, like, going in one set of rings came out the other set, and they just had the pair, and they used all kinds of shenanigans for that. And then I also gave them an immovable rod, which is a rod that you press a button on it and it can't be moved, meaning like you can just hang in the air. And yeah,
you could have a bunch of them and make a ladder in midair if you wanted.
Right. And the party with 2 immovable rods and 2 linked portal rings did all kinds of nonsense, completely like ruined dungeons. It was great. The physics breaking magics are the best. All right, so Mina, if that's your turn, we're moving on to Araxi.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do. I guess I'm assessing the situation, and if there's like, I'll be available to do something the same kind of thing, unless there's like, we have the pulley kind of set up, but that's,
if you're not taking an action, this would be the time to take like a mental action to try and give yourself advantages or come up with insights about what's going on.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. I was trying to think of like basically assess the materials I have around me to like build up anything that could help, like if we need to move the pulley or anything, or make adjustments to like extend the rope out or whatever we need to do, and like find the materials I need to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make an engineering roll, and I'll provide you with insights about what's available to you. You won't be able to act on them this round, but you'll have that information for your next action.
That's fine. Would it be engineering and cunning, given the stress of the situation?
Seems reasonable. Awesome. I'm going to have a lot to tell you then when it comes back around to your turn, as you spend the time contemplating. Araxi. Glup has shrunken 4 of the chests down and seems confident that they are real.
Alright, I've seen Elros, I assume, like, hop down from, like, at least above. Maybe I don't know exactly where Elros went, right?
Right, because they're behind the cart, so they're out of...
So I basically see them go and then disappear behind the cart.
Right.
Alright.
You can see that the rope is like going from the roof to somewhere behind the cart, and Elros climbed down that rope.
Yeah. So... I just want to, first off, just tell Elros, rope over here. Essentially.
Okay.
Because they have the rope. I don't want to grab onto the rope and do anything. Same sort of thing that with the pulley up there. It's like, I don't want to shock, particularly Francis, who I know does not have dark vision, by yanking on the rope or anything.
If you want to, you can make a roll to give Elros and Francis a bead on your position, so they can have some hips for when they try to get you the rope. Francis is blind in this environment, so... Yeah.
My other thought is to run and open the other doors. Which is what I want to do. I basically want to, like, go and then tell Francis... or tell Elros, because I know Elros can see. Elros, front of the cart, doors open.
And the second cart is starting to get into the darkness too.
Yeah.
They've been given orders to just power through, so they're not slowing down. They're not going terribly fast. It's, full speed on an ox is not awesome, but yeah.
Yeah. So there's 4 chests in there that Elros has done, or Glup has done. So I'm just going to tell. Basically, as I walk or run by, because it's Araxi. Araxi's not walked a place in her life. Basically, just tell mostly Elros, because I assume Elros could lead Francis by the hand at minimum. Front of the cart, doors open, 4, and then, or not front of the cart. On this side of the cart, doors open, 4. And then go and rip open the door of the second one as it enters the darkness.
Okay, so you're just delivering the information then. You're not giving you're not acting as a beacon for them to locate you.
Right.
All right, cool. And then you're gonna head down past the guards and get to cart number 2?
Yeah, in an Araxi way, so like climbing over the top of the carts and stuff. Yeah, where they're just not going to be able to follow.
Okay, make your roll on door number 2. If you're breaking the door down, this would be athletics, not acrobatics.
All right. And if I am... I'm just ripping the door open, essentially.
Okay.
So it's less dice, but also I assume this is also vigor instead of agility.
Yes. Yeah, the agility roll was to see if you could accurately land in the correct place. That was not about opening the door. But we'll just do that correctly this time. There you go. See, you can't keep a good frog down.
Oh no, what will I ever do? 6 successes.
Alrighty. Now it's their turn. Let's see how far they're able to move these cards. Oh yeah, they're doing great. The angry ladies are starting to call for their guard friends to help, but the guards are currently somewhat engaged in a combat in the darkness. Speaking of which, those of you who are in the dark, there are attacks coming at you. So this first one is on Wampy, who has run clear of the carts but doesn't know it yet. Ooh, big hit.
my void on that.
Okay. Second one is on Francis at the back.
Do I have to tax them all into one?
Yes, this is an attack.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Francis, I am so sorry. That is a 4 tax hit on you.
Yikes. Can I do... Is there specific areas that I need to tax for that?
So, the sort of general place that a hit like that would go is health, but you can argue that you're using something else to absorb it as long as it absorbs all 4. An exception. Resist, Avoid, and Notice have a special rule that you can use them as counter dice to lower that so that you don't have to put it all in one place.
Wait, do you have to roll that to
No.
use it? Okay, so, all right.
If you tax your Resist, Avoid, or Notice, you're lessening the amount of that die before you apply it. And if you lessen it to 0, you don't have to apply it anywhere. But once you're done using your Resist, Avoid, and Notice to reduce it, you do have to apply all that's left to the same place.
Okay.
Were they intentionally trying to hit us, or
Yes.
was it an accident?
Nope, they can hear that somebody's there. They were severely penalized, but they're also extremely beefy and trained guards.
Did she get any kind of advantage in regards to Lessons of the Small?
That's
yes.
what I was wondering.
I think... Wait, Lessons of Small gives you pips for avoiding things, right?
Yeah,
It gives-
it's a die bonus.
It gives you a Resist, Avoid, and Notice. Or something like that. One of those 3 it gives you.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's already
you get a
in
plus
already.
1d bonus to your Avoid.
All right, so you already have the bonus then that you can use to, to either resist
Yeah, I
it,
think it
avoid
only
it, notice
applies
it.
to a roll.
What's that?
I think it only applies to a roll, because it's like a +1 dice.
No, you've already gotten a dice in Avoid, so you got
Yeah,
like
you
a
already
one
have
bonus to your
plus 1 in
Avoid.
Avoid.
Got it, okay, cool.
Or you
And
should,
you
at least.
also get a Q2 on
Cool.
rolls, which is a separate thing.
Vivi makes a good point. You should have gotten it. That doesn't necessarily mean you got it, because we didn't, put it in for you. So, you might want to check that.
Yeah, make sure the math's right. Your Avoid is 2 stats divided by 2. and then
Basically,
you
there
have
should be
+1.
in that little blue number, there should be a +1 on Francis's sheet. Next to it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I've got that in place. So what am I possible? Is it possible to tax Avoid to 0?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna tax my Avoid 2 and then my health 2. I have 2 health remaining.
Okay. Yeah, taxing something to 0 doesn't knock you out. Being unable to pay a tax knocks you out. Which means you can use a talent, even if you are at 0 for the stat that the talent taxes. It just knocks you out to use it. It's like your last great hurrah before you fall out unconscious. I've always liked that about the system. Okay, so that was Francis. Let's see, we still need to do Elros, Glup, and Araxi.
Well, Glup is currently inside the carriage.
Oh yeah, that's true. Glup is inside the carriage, so Glup would not be subject to their random playlinks. Good point.
And would Elros and Araxi get advantages for being able to see?
Well, it doesn't matter for Elros because Elros is just, yeah. That so that guy just didn't hit anything. He struck the cobblestones real hard. Let's see.
Gosh, Uther is so cheeky.
Okay, and Araxi, that is a 2-point tax. As you run between the carts, some aspect of you is heard, and you're clipped by a heavy mace. Yeah. These soldiers, by the way, they have drunk a potion that's giving them unnatural strength, which is why they have so many dice rolling. All right, and then they have received their orders, and so they're going to lessen their attacks and focus on the animals. So there'll be more rolls to get the animals through for future rounds and fewer attacks against you guys. And that brings us back to Wampy.
Wampy just wants to get out. If Wampy can, like, accidentally like runs by the rope or something, like enough that Wampy could sense it, Wampy's just going to grab on and hold on.
Okay. Does Wampy have any magic?
Wampy has solipsism and druidism, but no actual spells.
Okay.
I would have to improvise anything.
Yeah. If you can get yourself in a situation where you've got advantage, you could very likely improvise something to help you out.
I feel like I am in advantage just because I'm doing this with the halflings.
Okay, that's fair.
Wampy. What could I improvise? I don't have improvisation either, so like.
So the skill improvisation gives you bonuses to improvising, but you're allowed to improvise even without it.
Probably while you do druidism.
And druidism covers a huge range of possibilities. You don't. It doesn't have to be nature-y stuff. It just has to be like natural laws, philosophical stuff.
Yeah.
It could be a prayer to the sun.
Wampy is a little better at druidism than solipsism, which is why I'm thinking now. Although solipsism would probably be more apt, because Wampy would just create a hole in the wall and walk through it and close it behind them.
Yeah. Or can just say, no, I can see, thank you very much.
Yeah. Honestly, that might just be what Wampy does here, is do that, no, I can't see. I like that idea. Like, Wampy, like, at first Wampy was just focused on getting out of the carts, and now Wampy's pretty sure that Wampy's out of the carts, mostly because Wampy's not actively being run over by carts. So, I only have one die for this, I think, because I can't add anything to it, right? It's just
if you have advantage, then you can add relevant aptitudes and skills.
Okay.
Because kind of what you're doing here is you're using a skill and then you're modifying the skill with your solipsism magic to make sure it works.
That's what I tried to actually do the last time, and I just rolled terribly. But this time I'm going to basically just hold my ground for a bit and try and get it so Wampy can see.
Okay. At a sort of instinctive DM thing, I would say that's probably empathy plus investigation. To see when you can't see, and now magically empowered. I'm willing to hear other arguments.
I was thinking it would be cutting or focus. Empathy was third on my list, with cutting being more so that I am trying to see in order to accomplish something. I'm not just trying to, see for the sake of seeing. I've not been ambushed. I'm just seeing to try and continue with my heist here.
Okay. I mean, given that you're completely blind, as long as it's not perception, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, you can argue that's perception, trying to perceive into the darkness.
True,
but,
yeah. Or hearing perception, right?
Yeah.
Not all perception is visual.
It's just definitely not vigor or agility.
Right.
That's definitely not it. I'm going to argue cutting because Wampy wants to get back in on heist team.
Okay.
Cutting plus, you said investigation?
That made the most sense to me. You're trying to see, and investigation is all about seeing.
Yeah, investigation.
Or perceiving, anyway. Yeah.
I'd like to argue crime, but I think that that's a little bit too much of a stretch because it's not an active crime to see.
Yeah. No, it's not. At least not.
Because if you're
not in this
casing a
society.
joint,
And it's a difficulty 2 on this one. This is a yeah.
Would my hammer help me out in any way?
It's not really a holy symbol. It doesn't have any special
It doesn't.
significance for
No.
yeah.
It would just be a physical item. How about the bracelet that we got? Does that help? Because it's a minor magical resistance.
It is. Yes, that would help.
What does that provide me again? It's a quality 1. I don't have any notes on this yet.
Oh, they're I think they're quality 4.
Oh, they're quality 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me fix that. And that's just 4 pips?
Yep.
I'm not at threshold bonus because I'm not trying to actually... Or deficit? Am I at threshold deficit for this?
No threshold modifications to the... Oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah. No, yeah.
Because I'm not trying to go anywhere.
Right, you're not doing anything that...
I tried to get out of the way of the
involved.
cards.
Yeah.
I failed the cards that knocked me out of the way. And then I don't think lessons of the small apply anymore because, again, I'm not trying to go anywhere.
There you go. 2 successes.
All right, Whoppy can see.
Congratulations. Go ahead and tax your... was that Druidism or Solipsism?
Solipsism.
Tax your Solipsism by 2, and congratulations, you can see. You just decided that you have the visual enchantment that everyone else has.
Right.
Excellent. Now to Francis. Francis, you still cannot see, but Elros is there to help you.
I assume I'm not actively in the way of the cart.
Well, you're in the way of the next cart. You're behind
Yeah.
cart number 1. You're in the way of cart number 2.
Yeah. We're between two. These carts are traversing between 2 buildings.
Yeah, they're going down this narrow alleyway that you guys had figured that they would try to use to avoid a big crowded area. There's an open area that's on their route, and it's really famous in the city that this caravan is coming through. And so lots of onlookers have come, and the caravan got paranoid, as you predicted, and has made a turn down this secluded alley, which you guys were waiting above. Now you're in the alley, carts around you, it's dark.
Yeah, I was asking that because I think what I'm planning on doing is kind of darting over until I hit a wall. Carefully, I don't want to knock myself out. But I'm basically going to try and hear, I generally know where the cart I jumped off of is, or I can hear it in the distance, and I hear the other cart coming, and I try and move in until I hit a wall. And then I know, oh, okay, well, I'm probably safe at that point, because I assume the carts aren't traveling very close to the wall.
Okay. Perception plus investigation. You've got a threshold penalty of 2, so you're rolling at a threshold of 8, and you want 3 successes to not crash into something and hurt yourself. Your teammates did try to give you some direction, but they were not... They just sort of described it. They didn't give you a clear beacon you could listen to run towards.
You do have Elros with you as well, though, right?
Yeah, Elros is there. Do you want to hand off the rope to Elros, or are you taking the rope with you?
Yeah, I think what I'll do is... I mean, I can't see Elros, so, handing the rope to Elros is kind of difficult.
Did Elros just land on you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess.
Elros
we can
succeeded the
assume
roll
he's
to go
touching me.
directly to you, so you're there.
Okay, well, I mean, I just assumed I had 0 vision, so unless he's actively touching me, then I don't know where he is.
Elros?
Yeah, so I can at least don't scare you, like, so I'm trying to help you out there.
So Elros is there.
Got it. Well, okay. Then we'll just assume I can toss. I can sense where Elros is. I hand him the rope and get the hell out of there because I'm trying to not get hit by the next car.
Awesome. So Elros, you now have the rope, and let's see that roll to see if you get out of there.
Will do.
Perfect. You make it to the wall, and yeah, if you can get up, you'll actually get up out of the darkness. But right now, you've managed to get to a wall, which means you're safe. You're not going to get run over, and the fighters aren't going to come anywhere near you. Elros, your go. You now have the rope, and you can see.
All right, I guess I'm going to try to move up to beside the door.
All right, you go up to the door, and Glup is waiting there with 4 chests.
I guess I'll start. Like tying up the chests to the thing.
In their shrunken form, it is much more difficult to try to get a rope around the chests. Having shrunken the handles, the rope no longer fits through them.
You can take the stickers off, though.
It might actually be easier to just put them in your pockets and pull yourself up.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that. I'll start holding. I'll keep a hold of the rope and I'll start putting them into my pockets and stuff.
Cool. So as you hold the rope there, you are weightless, but they are not. So they're what's holding you down. Do you want help being pulled up?
If you give it a couple tugs, if you give that rope a couple tugs, we will pull you with the pulley. Which
after the 4, I get 4 of them. I'll give a sharp tug.
Okay.
Use my ready to action to engage the lever on my pulley system.
Your ready action triggers. Let me move you in the initiative order. Okay, and yeah, you pull Elros up, and you guys are up there. You've got the 4 chests now that you can take out of your pocket. Four chests retrieved. Next up is Glup. What are you doing, Glup?
Glup is going to climb out of the thing, and his I'm gonna be spending a bunch of stamina on this. He's going to to make it even a lot harder to see if I'm there. He's going to spend 2 stamina to phase in with the darkness as well. So anyone can actually somehow gets magical ways to be able to see the camouflage as well, just in case. Also just to help with stealthing. And he's going to sort of slide up along the thing so he can get to where the ox are.
Okay. This is still on cart number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. The front of the cart has an ox driver that you can see is like smacking the ox, trying to get them going. And next to them, on either side of them, both left and right, are chests.
I just want to get onto the ox.
Oh, you want to get on the ox itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least within range so I can touch it.
Yeah. All right. You can see, so that's not a big problem for you.
Yeah, because I want to spend 5 stamina to excrete toxins from my hands onto the ox.
Oh, very clever. All right. That's not even a roll, is it? You just tax it and it's done.
It's contact with unless if they overcome a quality 8 poison.
Okay. Let me see what the ox is capable of doing here. So the ox is hit by 7 points. Is that a paralysis poison?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's immediately paralyzed until they overcome a quality 8 poison.
Yeah, and they only overcame one of those 8 points. So that ox has stopped moving. And started making noises. Wow, and they were just about to start getting out of the edge of that dark cloud, too. All right. Next up is Mina. Mina, you got to see a lot of things. So that was, what, 5 successes?
Like scrolling. Yeah.
All right. What kind of stuff were you looking for advantages in? Mechanical stuff? General awareness? Strategic information?
I mean, like playing into her, like it would be mechanically what she can adjust or change, like to assist with, whether it be adjusting the pulley or moving things around or whatever it would be.
The first obvious thing relating to the pulley is that you do have enough material up here that you could bolt it to the roof as a more permanent fixture, but because of the way it messes with gravity, it's kind of unnecessary as long as it has an operator. The only advantage would be it would no longer need an operator if you bolted it to the roof. But as long as Trompy is operating it, that's entirely unnecessary. The chests did arrive up at the top, though, and with that many successes, you are a little concerned about the contents. Additionally, while there's not much material to work with up here, and you've kind of thrown off the edge what little there was, the building itself is a very stable structure that does have rooms in it. You don't necessarily have to be on the roof. You could go down inside it and do things out the window. There would be some darkness involved, but if you or someone with dark vision did it, you could potentially make use of things through the windows that would be much harder for the people out there to deal with, because right now, if one of the soldiers manages to climb up onto the top of the carriages, they'll be out of the darkness cloud, they'll be able to see. That would not be the case through the windows. So that's the information you have. How would you like to act on that information?
Okay, so I guess like 2 quicks, like Trompy, you're good being stationary.
Aye, aye.
And then someone just came up here with the ability to see in the dark, right?
Yes. Yeah, Elros just came up here.
Okay, but we don't have...
Elros dropped off 4 chests, and because you got so many successes, something about the weight of the chests, as they're shrunken, but something about the weight of the chests as they were put on the ground didn't seem right to you.
Could open them, right? They're not locked.
Yep. They're just tiny.
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, I guess open the chest.
So what you notice when you open the chest is that because they were just kind of sitting in Elros's pockets, as Elros was dragged weightlessly back through the sky to the roof. The contents inside jumbled around. There's probably some shrunken coins in Elros's pockets that'll have to be dealt with safely at some point as the spell wears off. But also, you can see as they got jostled that little panels came undone, and it had a false bottom, and underneath the false bottom were just regular stones. They look like pebbles right now. When they grow up, they'll be like small, like fist-sized boulders. They're rocks. They had filled it with rocks, put a panel of wood on top, and put like a layer of gold on top of that.
So we got to be more selective with the next two we pull, because that's all we've got patches for.
You did have some intel about which ones were real and which ones were not. I don't know if you remember when you got that.
Yeah, the ones on the outside of the carts, right? Like we knew that those were filled with gold.
Yeah.
The obvious chests were the chests to grab, which was weird.
It was weird. It's this like double think play that they're trying to pull. They made the easy ones more valuable than the hard ones. And you guys went for the hard ones. Good on you. That's the Slytherin way. But, yeah. It seems like whoever loaded this was a deep strategic thinker and realized that that would be the thought process that everyone would assume, and so inverted it. Fortunately, you guys had a spy in their midst and found out about that. So you now know why the ones on the inside are different. All right, and with the confirmation of the chests, are you going to tell anybody about that?
I mean, the people up here know, right? Like
they should now see it. Yeah,
they can see it. So I'm not sure how to.
If you verbally tell somebody, then the mercenaries that Reggie got to come will also hear it and will go for the good chests too.
Okay, that's probably a good thing. There's a lot of chests, right? How many carts were there? There was 5 carts?
6 carts, and each cart has 4 good chests and some number of bad chests inside it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be discussing this with everybody up top. Not in any sort of stealth manner, because I'm on a roof.
Now here's the catch. You guys are only licensed to steal 7 chests. So if you want to steal 7 good chests, you're going to have to put these 4 back.
I mean, I'm down with that. It wasn't that bad. We've got plenty of time. Like, we're really fucking them up right now.
You are. You're really fucking them up, yeah.
Like, we're running circles around these people. Like,
the other thing is, we could just return them later, right? That was the thing as well.
You're not going to have another chance.
If we took more than the 7, we could just return the excess later, right?
No, it sounded like they were gonna basically tax us for any additional we take, and we're dealing with thieves, so they're gonna tax us.
They're gonna tax the good ones, yeah.
The good ones.
Since the coins are still super small in my pocket, right? How long did he ever tell us how long that shrinking magic was gonna last?
About an hour.
I could just grab all the coins from the little bit of coins from all the chests and put them back in without the coins.
Consolidate the coins from the 4 chests you've got into 1 chest. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, and then send
no one would know.
Or just
and then we're sending Aurelis back down with the chests.
Hell yeah, let's do this. I'm down.
Well, no, I was saying more just take all the coins out of all the 4 chests and send the 4 chests back. Because our legal obligation was to steal 4 chests, but we're not stealing those chests anymore.
You are stealing the coins. I mean, they're not idiots.
It's based on the value, not the. They will calculate whatever value of the items we take, and they will take their cut.
or more specifically, they're going to find whatever loopholes and interpretations they can to take as much from you as they can, whichever way it goes. So they'll do the letter of the law if the letter of the law serves them. They'll do the spirit of the law if the spirit of the law serves them.
Yeah, I would lean on the redistribute the 4 chest contents so that one has all the coins and the other 3 are rocks. And we'll take 3 back down.
Yeah.
Now, someone will have to do that on their next action. Right now, you've done your action, which was to discover that. So the decision you need to make is whether or not to let people know verbally that that's the case. And it sounds like you're going to keep it a secret. If not, tell me so that your teammates down there, because Araxi's about to have her turn, and if she doesn't know, then Araxi might be grabbing some more of the bad chests. Araxi has the other 3 stickers, right?
Araxi does have the other 3 stickers.
Yeah, I think we're making it verbally, like we're making it audible at this point, right? Like take the outer chest only.
Okay.
We don't mind anybody taking the outer chest. We want to take the outer chest. We know the mercenaries are here. Just only grab the outer chests.
The side benefit is that if the mercenaries come up on this, do you know where they're going to spend their money?
Yeah, no matter what. No matter what, it's a benefit. So yeah, we're being audible about what we're talking about. That the outer chests are the ones to grab, not the ones in the carts.
All right. So you shout down something about the chests in the carriages are loaded with rocks. Take the ones on the outside; those are the good ones. And you hear multiple calls back saying, "Yeah, all right, you heard him. The ones on the outside." And some like screams of pain as the 2 scary women do something horrible to one of those mercenaries. And it's Araxi's turn.
So I didn't want to say anything because this was actually going to be Araxi's action regardless of what you said. First off, I am going to look inside of the caravan. Like, I don't see any magical items or something. I just see chests, right?
Chests on shelves, yeah.
Yeah, if there's magical items, Araxi's action would be different. But if there's nothing there, Araxi, because this is the first time you've left Araxi alone, Araxi's going to slap the 3 stickers on, put those chests in her pockets, and leave. And Araxi's going to Lorpin. Because Araxi has intentions.
Alright, which chests are you getting?
The 3 from the outside, as much as I can.
So, the front of the carriage has 2, one on either side of the driver. The back of the carriage has 2 more.
Okay. I guess I grabbed the 2 from the front. I guess on my next action as I'm leaving, I'll grab 1 from the back.
Okay. I want you to make a crime plus agility check.
Alright.
Each success is a chest you're able to get to this turn.
Okay. Araxi does not have crime. I could use a character point, I guess. This would be a reasonable one for that talent I talked about.
Yep.
To use my acrobatics.
Do some flips.
Yeah. And I am going to argue that this is using for the community because this is... Araxi's plan is to ship this back home to the Anu.
Okay.
And use Lorpin to do that. So that's Araxi's plan. That's been Araxi's plan this entire time. And this is the first time you've left Araxi alone to do something. So I'm going to spend that character point again. Just make sure I do all the math right. This has to be what Lorpin would do. Be interested in, right? Based off what you've told me about Lorpin. And yeah, I'm definitely still climbing across things, so I get those pips as well.
Nailed it.
Araxi's going to have some explaining to do, but Araxi is going to basically put the 3 chests in her pocket because you gave Raxi 3 of those, and just try and get out.
All right.
And get
So
to dock.
this turn you've got the 3 in your pocket.
Yeah,
Next turn,
next turn is
deal
getting
with
out.
you're trying to get out without anybody seeing you. Alrighty. And this brings them back. Now, they're getting some help moving the carts now, so there's going to be less attacks against you. It's actually going to be no attacks against you.
Yeah, just getting that ox to move after being paralyzed.
Everybody give it their all, and they only get 4 successes. So there are no attacks against anyone this turn because the soldiers are manually dragging a sleeping ox. But they are finally getting the first cart out of the shadow. And the ox is going to try to recover from the poison. Makes progress, but is still sleepy. All right, and we're back to Wampy.
So Wampy can see now.
Yes, Wampy
And
can
Wampy's
see.
heard that. So Wampy's going to, like, call for the rope, I guess, and then hold the action. Like, go to a location, call for the rope, and just hold the action to load up the 2 chests on the back, essentially. I'm assuming the 2 chests on front of cart 1 are out of the dark now. Would they be?
Yeah, they're out of the dark.
So the 2 chests on the back, Wampy's heard that. It basically calls for a rope. As soon as the rope gets set back down, Wampy's going to want to load those 2 chests onto it.
Okay.
Because Wampy doesn't have any.
So Wampy, I guess, you're holding your action.
Yeah, I'm just moving myself there and holding my action, waiting for the rope.
Cool. So then let's move to Francis.
All right, so when I'm at the edge by the wall, do I have any better visibility, or is there still a darkness?
It's still darkness, but you're safe. You do know magic.
Yeah,
You could also just try and climb up the wall, or look for a door and try to get into the building, somehow get back to the roof. You'll be able to see once you're back on the roof.
yeah, I think it would be great to try and figure out if there is a way up. I don't know if there's, a fire escape or something I can climb up, or just basically looking for anything that looks like something that would help me get back to the roof, whether it's a door into the building or...
Anything you're going to look for, you've got to look for with your hands, because your eyes do not function currently.
So actually, I think what I'll do, I'll just... I'm going to head towards the back of the caravan. So I'm going to travel along the wall, touching the wall, in the opposite direction that the caravan is moving.
Okay.
Until I can see and have visibility, and then from there I can take a different action.
So you emerge from the darkness to see the 4 carts that have not yet entered the darkness area, like impatiently waiting for the other 2 to drag themselves through. Their soldiers do see you. Say, hey, what's that?
I'm going to try and blink to the roof.
Ooh, amazing. Yeah, go for it. Do you have Blink memorized?
I don't have anything memorized. Okay. I should probably do that at some point, but...
You have memorization, right?
If that's a talent, I do not have it.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right. But you have Blink in your spellbook, so you can totally cast it.
If you have a character point, you could use it to use memorization if that's something you're playing on getting. Ness did that.
Yeah,
you allowed Ness to do that.
That's true. You're supposed to like spend an hour of preparation to do that. This is kind of like in the middle of a moment by moment situation. But yeah, you can make a roll now. If you can convince me you have advantage in this situation, then in addition to your magic skill, you can also roll your cunning plus scholarship.
I mean, stick together, I think, should be applying for this whole entire...
And you're heading directly to Trompy, right?
Yeah, I believe Chompy's alone.
Stick together applies. So yeah, roll your magic plus cunning plus scholarship. You need 1 success, so should be an easy roll.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go. You tax your magic by 1, and you're just gone from that place, and you are next to your sibling.
Hey, Trumpy.
Hey, Francis.
Elros, your turn. You're up there with them. You can see Wampy below.
So we need to get some chests back down there.
You get so somebody needs to take the time to consolidate the coins into 1 chest, and then you can take the 3 empty chests back. Not really empty, they're full of rocks, but yeah.
I mean, it could be empty.
Could I just like hold the false bottoms on both of them and just dump them onto the roof for now, and then close them?
Yeah, just tip the contents onto the roof and just go with the rocks they've got in them.
Yeah.
Or where are we leaving these rocks?
I was leaving the rocks in them. Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Checking we're not. I just want to be a menace to, like, society by accidentally leaving a boulder on someone's roof.
The rocks are about the size of a fist when they're full-sized. Right now they're little pebbles. Also, the coins, by the way, they look like glitter because that's the size they are.
Well, so you said you're dumping the false bottoms, but keeping the rocks in them. So there's just these large planks that are going to explode eventually.
Oh no, I'm holding the false bottoms. Like because the gold is on top of the false bottoms, so the rocks and the false bottoms stay in, but then you just dump everything that's on top of it. That's what I mean. And I'm going to shove them in my pocket and hold the rope and jump down to where presumably the back of one of the carriages is.
So the gold just kind of scatters like dust, like glitter dust, onto the roof, and you're ready to jump.
Yeah.
If you were going to be more careful and put them into the chest, you wouldn't have time to jump this round. So
yeah.
All right. Make your roll to see if you land in the right place. Where are you trying to take the chests, by the way? Are you going towards Wampy?
I'm going towards Wampy, yeah.
Okay. Just need 2 successes on that agility or athletics. I'm sorry. It's agility no matter what. The acrobatics or athletics plus agility.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, 4 dice. I need 2 successes. Do I have any pips?
It can't pull out the climb up the rope trick again because you are the one with the rope this time. And it's a little tricky jumping with the rope. Francis did a really good job early on landing, but yeah, it's worth noting that while you're holding the rope, you are weightless.
Actually, can I pull out like the axe from my side and tie it to the rope and then jump down holding the axe?
Yes, you can. Very clever.
Yeah. So that's another 8 with the rope, right?
No, you don't get the bonus from the rope. You're still jumping yourself. There is no anchor point for you to use. You're you're jumping. You just happen to be carrying the rope with you. All right, so you don't land next to Wampy, unfortunately, but you're down there. Which brings us to Trumpy. So, Trumpy, there is the, obviously the rope mechanism to operate if somebody gets ready for it, but at the same time, a glitter dust of what will eventually, in an hour from now, become gold coins has spilled onto the roof. Do you want to try to sweep that up?
Me?
You're up there.
I'll do it, I guess.
It's either you or Francis. Francis isn't going to have their turn for a little bit.
I'll do it. Francis can cover the rope while I handle that.
Okay. What are you going to do to keep the mechanism from falling down while you're doing that?
I mean, can't I attach it to? Well, I mean, like it's like a pulley system, right? Like it's got a lever that, like, I'm assuming is in an engaged position or a locked position.
Now, it's been held in position primarily by you holding it. It is not bolted to the roof. Mina is also up there, as I recall.
I will let somebody else handle the gold coin dust.
Okay, then next up is Glup. I'm going to say that you're holding your action there, Trompy. Just in case you want to jump in once something else happens.
No worries.
Knowing that the chests are bad, I'm going to go over to Elros to help grab the rope to be able to start tying them to the two back chests.
Good call, because you were about to come out of the darkness there, being up with the oxen. All right, you can see, so you don't need to make any rolls to maneuver. You're back there with Elros. Next up is Mina.
Does that, by the way, does that get the rope close enough for Wampy to start loading it?
Okay, Glup is going to get the rope from Elros and take it to Wampy. Is that the...
That's what I heard, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, yeah. So, yeah, Wampy could go.
All right, so Wampy's going to load the rope up. It doesn't have the patterns or like the stickers or anything, so I'm just looping the rope through, which makes it weightless.
Which means you can loop it through, because you can't when you're trying. Yeah.
And that makes it weightless, presumably.
Correct.
Right. So that's what I'm doing. What do I roll for that?
For tying a rope,
I feel like this is crime.
Yeah, it's crime.
I guess you could argue labor as well, which is identical for me specifically.
Yeah, and like anyone that's been doing like training with the fishing guild on rope work should be able to just do this. It's like, what kind of a sailor are you if you can't tie a rope that keeps a weightless thing attached?
Well, he did go to the fishing guild one day, just to work on the hammer a bit, actually. But
yeah. So make a labor or crafting, honestly.
I think I'm going to do labor. Labor plus. I can't see an argument for any druid enhancement here. I guess, are the chests made of wood?
They are.
Okay, I can, because I can. Basically, I want to try and breathe just enough life into the. As part of doing this, I want to use my druidism to breathe just a little bit of life into the wood to make it just a little easier on me.
Okay. Shaping the wood a little bit.
Yeah. But this is still a labor. I'm still focusing on it. I'm just using my druidism as an enhancement because this is definitely still working together.
Did you ever learn the shape wood spell?
I did not. I did have that opportunity. I did have enough experience at the time.
It was a spell, so it didn't require experience.
Well, yeah, but at the time I didn't have.
Oh, you didn't have points in Druidism?
I didn't have points in Druidism because I didn't know I was supposed to yet. I got the points in Druidism to learn the spell, and that was when the Sapper's adventure happened. But yeah. Okay. And I don't think lessons of the small apply here.
I mean, you got the two chests in the back. That's all that was back there, so you've got them both wired up.
Hoist!
Okay, Trumpy, you get the signal to hoist again.
I hoist.
I really should have come up with some rule for you to have to make a check or something for hoisting, but the fact is you build that machine too well. There's no way for you to fail with that thing. So, all right, that is 2 chests hoisted, which paranoia causes you to immediately check them, and these are indeed properly filled with gold. You can reach your hand all the way to the bottom and pull a gold coin out.
Brilliant.
So you've got 2 good chests and 1 chest that is sort of the amalgam of 4 bad chests rolled into one. What did you guys do with the 3 chests that
I thought Elros still has them.
Okay, that's right. Elros has them and is not in position. That's right. Okay, so Mina.
Elros gets.
Mina's up.
Okay, so it's a toss up on Trumpy. Do you need mobility? Do you need this pulley fixed, or should I go find something else to do?
I think you should try and sweep up that gold glitter. That's going to be coins in a little bit.
I mean, I could sweep up gold glitter, I guess.
Okay. This is focus plus labor.
Trumpy, do you have labor? At all?
No.
Lazy kids. Get a job.
Trumpy has Trumpy has a scholarship of 5, so I'm not even going to take no flack. I'm very studious.
From below, you just hear Whoppy yell, "Nerd!"
Alright, I guess I'm haphazardly sweeping up gold then. Unless I can...
This is a mystery difficulty. You don't know how well you'll have done, but you'll think you've done well. No matter what you roll.
And I was aware of enough materials to... not necessarily looking to enhance the dice on the roll, but I'm aware of the materials on the roof to, do work. Even affixing the pulley and such. Is any of that help me with just something up here to help me pick this crap up?
Yeah, I would say that gives you advantage if you have an engineering-related potential that you wanted to apply to it. Or even the scholarly potential.
Yeah, I don't
have
think...
an erudite of 2 that I could contribute. Is this going to distract me? Right now, we don't need to have me focusing on the pulley, so I can just loosely hold it with my hand, or just have somebody swap with me. I can use my scholarship or just my erudite potential to assist in making sure we're as thorough as possible.
What's what I was saying? I can lock the pulley down.
Yeah, you do that, and I have an investigation of 3, so I don't know if that's helpful in this case.
Now, you used your turn to operate the pulley to bring them up.
Okay.
So
In that
when
case,
your
I
turn
can-
comes back around, you can do something. But right now, yeah, you've taken your action.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, and my potentials as far I don't think I have anything as far as actually helping.
Okay.
So I'll just roll dice to do something.
Francis has scholarship and is on the roof, if that helps.
Francis will have a turn coming up eventually. Francis used their turn just now to blink up.
Okay.
I have on my screen all of your characters with markers as to who's held their actions, who hasn't, who's on the roof, who's not, who has dark vision, who doesn't. Okay, well, you feel like you've sweeped it all up. I was going to say that even if you rolled nothing, but yeah. You feel like you've sweeped up all the gold? You've done as good a job as you do when you clean your room for Miss Maple.
Right, there's a lot of missing gold.
At least someone lucky will come on this roof and find some bunch of gold on the ground.
I would love to just see a list of the kids' rooms ordered by cleanliness. Like, I imagine the triplets, since it's a disaster zone that Trompy's trying to fix every day.
Yeah, so whose turn is it?
Alrighty, Araxi, you're up.
Alright. So Raxi, as I said, had ulterior motives for this. Noble was not exactly helpful to the group. Araxi's going to try and get to the docks and get to Lorpin now, because I think I have all 3 of the chests that I could fit in my pocket.
Alright, so yeah, this is a stealth roll. This is contested against the investigation plus perceptions of your teammates.
Alright. Alright.
So agility plus stealth, and I need everyone else to make an investigation plus perception.
I'm going to argue that I still have advantage in this situation to add my athletic onto it. But I don't have another character. I don't have another character point to finish that talent.
Aw.
And those people that can see in the dark, would they get advantage for?
They can roll. Actually, that's a good point. Anyone who doesn't have dark vision is going to be at a disadvantage. So if you don't have dark vision for this situation, you're at a threshold of 8.
So it's it's currently two of my characters and one of Vivian's characters, I think. No, yeah, because your other character, one of your characters.
Yeah, Lumpy is there as well.
Trompy, Mina, and Francis have threshold of 8 on this roll.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to argue that the way that Araxi does this is still via climbing. It's just Araxi's not going to use Grasshopper to just jump into the air, because that would just let everybody know that Araxi's leaving. But Araxi is still going to climb up, essentially.
Okay. Let's see everybody else's rolls first, so we know what you're trying to beat.
Yeah. Can
Make
Gluff
this
use
exciting.
crime perception, since he's good at, because he's currently invisible and he's known for being able to, as being part of the thieves skills, he would notice other crimes being crimed.
There is a talent for that. Let me find it.
What was the roll again? So I could roll it from Hoppy.
Oh, perception plus
investigation.
investigation. But there is there's a I think, or maybe it's a stealth talent.
Perception, investigation, pretty much everybody's rolling threshold 8.
If I wanted to hide something, your skill at concealing things has also made you pretty good at finding them. You may spend 1 investigation to get a +1 threshold bonus to any attempts to find things. or 1 stealth to gain the same bonus to hide things.
Okay, nice. So, spend a character point.
Yeah, and it's a threshold bonus, not dice, which is amazing. Threshold bonuses are crazy. Just mathematically, they're incredibly impactful. Ouch! Well, so far it looks like Araxi's gonna have an easy time of this. We'll see when Glup's roll hits the table.
Yeah, I'm trying to be quick.
Troy, that roll would have failed even if you didn't have the threshold of 8.
Oh yeah, that was.
That's just brutal.
I'm really busy up here, like sweeping. I don't got time for all that shit down there. You see how small these gold coins are?
So 3 successes.
Alright.
Well,
Even though Araxi does not have stealth, Araxi is going to be rolling a fair few dice.
Is that everybody?
just one more for Elros.
Elros, I don't think... Did Troppy roll?
I haven't seen a roll from Francis either.
What are we rolling again?
Investigation plus perception. To see if you spot Araxi bailing on you guys.
And a threshold of 8 if you can't see them.
Which I think is both of you.
Sorry, it's perception and what? I had a lot of crosstalk.
Investigation.
Investigation, let's go.
Or just everybody is threshold 8, essentially.
But yeah, your threshold 8 is the thing.
Would Madala's costume help with this? Like, sniffing the map? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Erudite is going to help me here.
Alright, the number to beat is 3.
Alright.
It's a number to beat, by the way. And you beat it. You destroy it, actually. Yep, so nobody notices that Araxi has vanished from the scene.
What this means also is that you don't know that Araxi has 3 chests.
Yes.
I mean, don't we just get taxed at the normal rate for any extra chests we get?
You get taxed at whatever they decide to tax you at. Correct?
So,
Yes. Yeah.
Araxi's idea was that you would just think that that would just be stuff stolen by the mercenaries, who are not part of the Thieves Guild.
And also, you're not a part of the Thieves Guild, so that's...
Oh yeah, Araxi has nothing to do with Thieves Guild. Araxi barely knows that we're doing this legally. We are talking about it, it's like, Araxi doesn't really know what's going on, but Araxi had ideas.
Alright. Araxi got away.
Alrighty. The other soldiers from the carts behind are starting to get involved in getting the animals through. Let's see if the ox can recover.
Come on. I'm sort of cheering for the ox because I like animals.
The ox has recovered! So they're now rolling at their full dice. Okay. 8 successes. So they are now at 15 out of 28 to get through. They have really picked up speed. The first card is now fully cleared. The second card is in and almost through. Yeah, you guys are having to run to keep into the shadows as they're really starting to steamroll through here. We're back to Francis up on the roof. And if we can't finish up in the next few minutes, I'm going to have to put another pause on it because it's getting super late. Actually, I think I just need to call it.
Yeah, this is a good, probably a good pause point.
Yeah, good pause right before we restart the initiative order from the top again. So I'm just going to save everything here, and we'll continue next week. As though it had been the very next moment. Stopping the recording.